Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, or Mr. Semi, or Semi-Cannon guy. One or the other, folks. Who knows? Who knows? I have not reached my final form. We are back once again on Semi Reviews. This game was sent in to me. This is actually a live game, but I'm going to use it for this series instead because I think it's cool, and maybe there are some teaching moments that we can have along the way. We never know, folks, we never know. But we are playing on Tea Ceremony today. This is a Fog of War matchup, triple base, double airport, comm tower support, double comm tower support with a port. Random port thrown in, double port. So there's a whole lot of doubles going on this map, folks. Oh my god, there's gonna be some massive stuff happening here. When we take a quick look at the map, it's actually like, it's fairly even, it's split down the center here. We got two properties right here that are directly on the contested line. Basically, the contested line for this one is straight down the middle. These two properties here are your contested ones. You got a contested property right here, you got a contested property right here. Comm towers are kind of contested, but I mean, more or less, they're kind of more geared towards one player or the other. You got some nice black boat action on this map here as well, too. You can bring this black boat over here, plop it on the port, plop it on the shoal, funnel some infantry over here, willy-nilly, having a good time with those guys. Now, you could potentially funnel your infantry from this position right here, bring them over here, bring them here, load them up, load them over here, get them in the center, and have yourself a jolly old time, folks. But you never know what's going to happen in Advanced Wars by Web. Anything goes in Advanced Wars by Web, for sure. So we have Slothful One and Alexander de Koons. Alexander de Koons today, and both players have chosen to play as Sami. So Sami, as a day-to-day ability, will have 130% firepower on her infantry and mech units. Her capture rate is also 1.5 times faster than that of other COs. Her other direct combat units will lose 10% firepower, but her transports will gain +1 movement. Her double time co-power will allow her to get +1 movement on infantry and mechs and increase their firepower, and the Victory March super co-power will allow her to instantly cap any property with any HP value with any infantry or mech, and also give them a +2 movement. So very good co-power indeed. Sami, Victory March, is the only co-power in the entire game that can guarantee a win condition, except for Samurai Spirit. There is a possibility with Samurai Spirit, but Samurai Spirit can also be countered by global damage. Whoa. Victory March, though, can't be countered. The only thing that you can do to prevent the Victory March is park something on your HQ. Get a big, fat, juicy, classy medium tank on that HQ. You are not going to be capping that HQ unless they have a bomber or maybe two stinky boys or something like that. That's a possibility. But either way, we're not going to worry about the what ifs and or whens. You know what? We have a match here, so we are going to see what happened in this one, folks. So strap in, get yourself a drink, and let's get to it. Boom. On the first few days, folks, you guys know the deal. Standard infantry builds. It is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. #2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web is when you are fighting Sami, get something on your HQ, because Victory March sucks. But fortunately for us on this map, we do have a black boat already on the HQ, but we can see Alexander de Koons has chosen to remove the black boat from the HQ in order to get some extra boosties with the infantry. Now, I don't necessarily dislike this idea. The HQ is fairly protected. It is fairly protected. It's not necessarily super protected with the vehicles, though. It is very protected with what you would say, like, the infantry and the mechs. Definitely got some protection there, but we forgot to cap a property over here, so that's definitely priority #3 is making sure that we finish those caps. That isn't, I mean, it's not something that's super uncommon. When you're playing live, sometimes you forget. These things do tend to happen sometimes, so we're not really going to fault him too much for that. But definitely be checking those captures before you end turn. Now, there is a little icon on the top of your map screen that'll show you next unit. Very good idea to click on that to make sure that none of your units have not waited yet. Now, lots of people, when you see them play, they'll wait their black boats and everything just to make sure that they have moved everything. So Definitely give that some consideration in the future here, but as we can see, Slothful One has busted out a transport copter. Very interesting indeed. Now, when it comes to getting a boosty, I probably wouldn't boost to this one. What I would do is I would actually just boost all the way over here and start grabbing these properties instead of grabbing this one, because this one is like very guaranteed. Like, you're gonna get that one. You could easily chain to here, then chain over here and grab one of those two properties with just this infantry right here. But these ones are gonna be a little bit more difficult to get. So that would probably, I would probably say boost over here and grab those ones first. So yeah, we could do that, but either way, once again, kind of minor, whatever, is what it is. Like this boost right here, right into the center. This is fine, but I'd probably go for these center properties before I cap this property. Like I said, these are kind of more contested. We can chain it to this property, then chain it to this property right away. Or this one, vice versa. It doesn't really matter which one you go for, but definitely get them chains going, get the recons on the field. Flowing, feeling nice about themselves, folks. You gotta get the recons on the field. Number 4 priority in Advanced Wars by Web is get yourself some recons. Good stuff. I actually do not mind the transport copter right here too. It's not really too bad. Yeah, it's fine. I was gonna say maybe we could boost ourselves over here and grab this, but it doesn't really matter too much. The other thing I would suggest is right here. It looks like Slothful has decided to finish capping this city. Probably would just skip that property altogether, go for the base right away, and start getting your unit count out, because you can always chain back to this city. But if you get this, get your unit count out, you're going to get your unit count up, which is going to lead to more captures. Obviously, you could chain over here, move into the center, then start grabbing these properties here in just a few days. So, yeah, definitely would grab that before anything. Now, this is a pretty good move. I like this. So, flipping over here, and now we are in position to grab a comm tower. Now, we could grab the comm tower, obviously. Definitely a top priority. Income is super important in the early game. If you can avoid grabbing a comm tower right away and grab some income first, it probably would suggest doing that before anything else. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, as long as you grab a property, then you're probably fine. I guess this is fine right here. It looks like we're going to be trying to get up into the top corner. So that's okay. I think recon in the center would be a little bit more effective, so you could bring it right here and then bring it up here and then bring it over here right away. It would be nice to get some vision in the center, but whatever, you know, is what it is. Boom, nice little boosty with the transport copter once again here. I definitely would have moved this guy sooner to start getting some boosties. I guess it doesn't really super matter, but it's a nice little boost right there. I guess there wasn't really any opportunity for us to boost right away, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, I like this boost right here. This is a good placement rather than what Alexander did and boosting right here. Definitely would consider trying to boost in the center and grab these properties as soon as possible, because like I said, those are your contested properties right here. Definitely go for those guys before anything else. Boom, boom, boom. And we are in the center, folks. Alright, there we go. Now we are cooking over here. We have an infantry drop right here, so we're going to be able to chain here, chain here, chain here. Well, not chain here, but I mean, we're going to be able to chain here, and then we're going to be able to just get over there eventually. So, going for the comm tower, very nice. I would probably send this guy right here, cap this right now. Okay, so yeah, definitely, once again, we gotta be checking that units thingamabobber at the top of the map for non-weighted units, because if, I mean, this guy right here could have went here, could have went here, and we could have also built a unit. So we definitely definitely want to be doing that, folks. We gotta be building them units. Number 6 priority in Advanced Wars by Web, unless it's number 5, build units. that's what the priority is, folks. Gotta get that unit count up. I like this right here. This is a nice little boost. So we don't really know what the vision of this recon, or if there's even a recon over here, right? But it is likely that maybe something might be coming up here, and if they do, well, they're gonna get trapped, because there's only one of 2 ways to go, and there's only one way for a vehicle to go. So could quite potentially be trapped right there, but we shall see. I like the battlecopter though. Battlecopter is nice. I do appreciate a good battlecopter, especially Sami battlecopter. I mean, Sami's direct combat units are pretty not too great in general, so battlecopters kind of help that out quite a bit. I mean, her tank engagements are not very good. But the battlecopter engagements, I mean, they're just battlecopters in general. Plus you have a comm tower, so if you get both comm towers, it's 110% firepower battlecopter. Same thing with the tanks too, but like generally I like battlecopters a little bit more. Now obviously they are countered by anti-air and stuff, but you can probably assume that if you're going to be fighting another Sami, they're going to be bumping out a lot of infantry, so you want to be getting something that's going to counter infantry. And Slothful One now is going for the enemy comm tower, so this is actually pretty big. Pretty big indeed. If he manages to get both of the comm towers, well, that's going to be huge. That's going to be a massive boost of firepower for this Sami. That's going to be like 3 towers. That's going to be 160% firepower for infantry and mechs and 120% firepower for everything else. Except for like indirects, which get 130% firepower. Like, yeah, that's good. That's some good stuff here. All right, so if we go by the rules of like advanced wars in general, what you kind of want to do is you want to use your farther back units to do stuff that's farther back and use your further units to do stuff that's further up. So we move here, we cap this property with this guy. This guy can either move up here and start thinking about moving up here, or maybe move over here or something. Bringing this guy back and this guy forward, it's kind of, you're losing a lot of tempo when it comes to your movements. So I probably would definitely suggest just going forward. Going forward, that's what it's all about. It's the same thing when it comes to attacks with like your tanks and everything, right? Typically what you want to do is you want to use your background tanks first, going for the attack, and then use your foreground tanks to do extra damage. In order for you to get like maximum mobility out of your movements. So that is definitely something you want to be thinking of. I do like the fact that Alexander here has just acquired 2 of the contested properties, so that is pretty nice. But Slothful One, very good placement of this infantry right here on the mountain. Definitely is overextended, but we have a goal of capturing the comm tower. And Sami infantry, they can be overextended and still actually get a capture as long as they don't get too tapped. So we get trapped right here, which is, you know, it's expected. You know, it's gonna happen in the Sami battle. You know, you're gonna be going for the cities. You know, it just is what it is. Trap cards tend to happen. Spellbind the circle. Boom, got him. All right, so probably what I would suggest here is you do have a potential attack right here, so you could go for that. Now you see this guy right here, he's got 2 visions, so you can't actually see the comm tower. You don't really know what's in the shade, but you see that this isn't capped. So you can assume that there probably is not an infantry right here, because if there was an infantry right there, it probably would have just went for the port instead. That's probably a fair assessment, you know? Plus, I think you might have had vision, so you might have seen it happen, but we shall see here. We shall see. Now, you could go in for this attack over here and guarantee yourself the comm tower, or you could go up here and try to save your dude. Whichever one you do decide to do is like, you know, is what it is. It doesn't really matter too much, but it looks like we are going to be going for this attack right here. So we're going to attack that guy. So this guy's going to be healed up to 7. He's still going to be able to counter attack this. We're going to be able to move this guy over here and take a shot. Building vehicles out of this property right here, you don't really have a whole lot of options for building units, actually. Could build a unit out of here. I mean, this guy, so this base and this base obviously are going to be going north. So technically most of your vehicles should be in this area right here, and your opponent have their vehicles in this area right here, more or less. So let's see what happens here. Boom, gonna cap that part. We're gonna try to get a property. Sneaky little recon hidden in the shade there. I like it. I like it a lot. Getting tons and tons of intel. This is definitely a battle copter map though, folks. Like 110%. All about the battle copters on this map. You get COs like Adder. You get COs like Max. And yeah, you're gonna be having a good time. You even get COs like Andy, you know. Andy loves copter combat as well. So we'll be going for a little double here. So we interrupt with the copter and attack with the recon. I like that. It's not really too bad. Once again, we don't know what's in the shade, but it's pretty pretty safe to say that there's probably not a whole lot. I mean, it takes forever, like absolutely forever for a vehicle to get through here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So technically, if there was an AA built a couple days ago, it could potentially get over here, but very much doubt that there would be an AA built that early. There is a possibility of it. There's a possibility of it being built that early. I would go for this cap, like right now, before I go up north here. I guess it doesn't matter too much, but I like the income. I really, really like the income. But I guess it doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter too much. Now, we bring these guys forward. Got nice little chunky units right here. So, the main thing we have to do now is we just have to hope that our battlecopter doesn't get seen. But we have a nice anti-air here. So, anti-air is starting to get in a pretty good position here. Bringing the battlecopter up. That is a pretty risky play. Pretty risky play indeed. We actually don't injure this enough to stop the capture as well, because Sami gets the 1.5 times capture. So in order for you to stop a Sami cap fully, you have to be able to take it down to 3. Taking it down to 4 is just going to allow her to get the capture. So unless you can take it down to 3, sometimes I would suggest just not attacking it, but you could potentially attack it, you know, is what it is. Is what it is. We could actually just finish the capture right here. And if we did, actually, if we did finish this capture before we attacked with the battlecopter, we probably would have actually taken this guy down to 3 and stopped this capture. So definitely priority number 7 is finish those comm tower captures before you go in for your attacks, folks. It happens to the best of us, is what it is, but we do have to watch out for that. Now, Slothful 1 going over for a little flip on this property here. Don't mind it at all. We do have a lot of backup, like 1, 2, 3 copter backup right here. But it is Alexander's turn. They are going to be able to get a hefty amount of copter shots this turn. Unfortunately for Alexander, the anti-air is out of position. I mean, it's not really going to be able to get over here. But I don't think that we should be going for this attack right here. That one doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I think what we should do is, if we are going to yeet our anti-air, we got to yeet our anti-air into the center where the battlecopters are. That's what we should do. Because we can see that there's battlecopters, right? So we can assume that there's probably going to be some battlecopter spam going on. Yeet it into the center, destroy the infantry, move in for an attack on the copter. You might even reveal another copter. Could move in for a second copter strike. That's 2 copters out of the equation. That would actually be very, very good for Alexander if he did manage to spot that. But obviously, this is Fog of War. You don't know what's going on, so we cannot fault him for that. Boom, going in for the old 2-shot here. Not too shabby. Definitely finish this capture, though, 100%. Go for the capture. Finish it. Finish the capture. Don't forget. Don't forget about him. Don't forget about him. I hope we don't forget about a guy. No, don't forget about him. No, we forgot about him. No. Ah, Alexander, no. Alright, once again, check that button at the top of the screen. Boom. Weighted units. Check it out before you finish your turn. There might be a little surprise waiting for you, folks. You never know. Copter moving in, taking an engagement. 100%, I would go for that. No reason not to be completely honest. Boom, taking a second shot. See, this is why we needed to have the anti-air in the center. Take anti-air, put him into center, attack this infantry. This infantry would be gone. These copters would think twice about going in for this attack. Now, he does have a tank backup, which is great. I mean, you got to get tanks on the field. Unfortunate clear. Alexander should have definitely acquired that city. That was 100% his. Unfortunately, we just forgot to cap it. So, is what it is. That is perfectly fine. Alright, bomber, boom. Classy boy of the sky on the field here, folks. You'll love to see it. Now, this is one thing that you should be doing as Sami. Since we buy so many infantry, since we buy so many mechs, we gotta be using that money that we save up to buy big boys. We gotta get the classy boys of the sky. Gotta get the classy boys of the ground. Boom. That's what you gotta get. You could get stinky and buy Neo tanks, but who honestly wants to do that? What? Terrible stuff, folks. Terrible stuff. Boom. So that is very far forward, and we actually put it in range of a tank, and we know we put it in range of a tank, so very questionable. Pop in the double time. Okay, let's see what we do with the double time. Boom, we're gonna go for the interrupt. Like the interrupt, for sure. 10 out of 10 would do again. Boom, do we get to clear? Oh, we get to clear. That is actually pretty flippin' cool. Get another clear on an infantry. Boom, 100% damage. Right there, folks. That guy's gone. He's out of here. That guy's out of here too. Holy macaroni and cheese, folks. What a massive hit. Massive hit indeed. Love it. So copters aren't really going to be super effective. He's kind of just eating them into some units right now. Is what it is, but if you, in Fog of War, you could actually bring your copters back, hide them, and use them as scouts later, because they do have 3 vision and very, very good mobility. So maybe, what are we on, like number 7, number 8? Number 8 priority in Advances by Web is making sure that your injured copters stay alive so that you can use them as scouts for suicidal missions. That's what you want to be doing, folks. Boom. Alright, so we do have 1 anti-air in the field, and I really, really like what Alexander's doing with it right now. So he's not yeeting it into oblivion. He's hiding it in a forest, which is absolutely super mega intelligent. You don't want to be throwing away your only anti-air. If you want to throw away your anti-air, then you need to get another anti-air. Okay, so we're popping the double time. Not going to be going for no victory marches today, folks. We are going for nothing but double times. Boom. Let's see if he goes up and attacks the Riki. Yes, he does. Boom. And the bomber has been revealed. So we move in and we attack a 3 HP infantry with the bomber. Probably would not consider doing that. Now, obviously clearing units is really good, but revealing the fact that you have a bomber to kill a 3 HP infantry can be incredibly, incredibly dangerous. Because you don't know if your opponent has a fighter, you don't know if your opponent has an anti-air in this area. It's very, very likely that they could. So revealing it to just destroy a 3 HP infantry is not a very good move. I think what you should do is definitely hold your bomber in the background, wait until you see a high value target, such as a Neo tank, and just obliterate the absolute poop out of that boy. That's what you gotta be doing. Bombers are Neo tank slayers, folks, and that's what they're all about. Boom, taking another engagement here, takes that man down to 2, gets another clear, and not too shabby. So all in all, not really too bad of a double time. Did get quite a few clears here, quite a few kills, busting out another tank. Not too bad. Now, Alexander has not really built any tanks this game. He's mostly doing a couple mechs and battlecopters. You do have to get some tanks on the field, folks. No matter who you are playing, whether you're playing Grit, it does not matter. You got to get tanks on the field. They are the core unit of Advances by Web, and you absolutely need them. Because battlecopters cannot counter an anti-air. They can't. Mechs could potentially counter an anti-air, but their mobility is very, very low. So they're not going to be able to effectively counter that unit at all. You need to have a tank. That is the only effective way that you can counter an anti-air. Or a classy boy. Classy boys are great too. So I'm going to go in for a attack. Boom. Get that guy. Boom. Join cap. Probably wouldn't join cap that one. If I was going to join cap any of them, I would join cap with this one, so it's a fresh infantry. But is what it is. Because what can happen is he can just move here, he can move here, attack this guy, and then this guy would still be able to clear this. But if he moved here and attacked this, we could actually move infantry right here, attack and get a heal right afterwards. So, I mean, it might not be the worst thing in the world. Might be the worst thing in the world, you never know. But Sloth 1 is definitely abusing that comm tower advantage right now. Definitely has the 120 or 20% extra firepower bonus. I guess his units are kind of all over the place. Alright, so triple base skip for a fighter. It's so hard. It's so hard to decide, especially on this map. Because our anti-airs are going to be incredibly slow at getting to the center. It's going to take us a very long time. This bomber can go to absolute town on us while we're waiting for it. So fighter, maybe not the worst idea. I don't like the idea of triple base skipping, but fighter is the direct counter to the classy boy of the skies, so we're gonna give it a pass. Alright, so we lose the black boat and some infantry. Losing the black boat is actually kind of bad. That's like your main mobility for the infantry. Oh my god, slothful one. Has this been a psychic? He busts out a fighter. What is actually going on here? Swear to god. Is this guy using wall hacks? Slothful one, does he have wall hacks? Does he know? Does he absolutely know that there's a fighter on the way? I don't know. But number 9 priority in Advanced by Web is making sure that you do not reveal your fighter until you get the strike. You don't want your opponent to know that you have a fighter. You want them to yeet their classy boy of the sky into oblivion so that you can casually move up and just delete them like it's absolutely nothing. That's what you want to use it for. This spot right here is not a shoal, so we can't actually drop off these infantry here. So I think it's kind of an easy mistake to make. I mean, you see shoals everywhere. You think that you can drop them off, but definitely be looking at terrain before you do anything. And yeah, that's about it for that one. Double anti-air today, so getting the counters to the air units. I do like that. Slothful one. Let's see what he does. Flips the property 23 to 20k now. Gets rid of the vision. Absolutely necessary. Anytime you see a recon, you kill a recon, especially if it's out of position. That is what you got to be doing. Alright, I don't think that we're giving enough respect to the bomber right now. I think we definitely should consider blocking off the bomber. Because we do have a tank and maybe a copter in order to block it off, just in case. But definitely be keeping that guy healthy. But Alexander doesn't really have a whole lot of vision here. Now, if he's using the replayer, oh yeah, this is a live game, you know, so it actually doesn't. 2 fighters? Pfft, what the? What? What an absolute menace. 2 fighters? Oh my god. I mean, he's definitely caught wind that this player is using like nothing but battlecopters, so definitely. Oh yeah, okay, there we go, there we go, there we go, boom, there he goes. Sad classy boy of the sky has been defeated. Busting out another fighter. Holy moly, like, I've not seen this many fighters. I've never seen this many fighters. This is absolutely menacing. I love it. I love it. All right, I wouldn't base skip for more fighters though, because if you check the KD, Alexander would definitely be behind on the KD. You can see that like you have 22 units. If you're on like day 15 and you're hovering around like the low 20s for your unit count, you were definitely behind, especially if you've been losing those encounters. Because normally, for the average match, if you haven't really had too many engagements, you're gonna be like upwards to like mid 30s, almost 40s right now. So yeah. If you're in like the low 20s, you're definitely losing in unit count, and you should probably pull back, try to get some more units and recover. That's what you should consider doing for sure. So yeah, let's see what we manage to do here. Interesting indeed. Oh lordy poo, oh lordy poo. Do we see what's going on here, folks? This is a devastating little push right here. We are considering some devastation over here. Planning for the victory march, folks. Not popping the victory march willy-nilly. Planning for it, busting out another fighter. 3 fighters. I mean, at this point, it really doesn't matter, because we're going to be going for a victory march. So there's a few things that you can do in order to prepare yourself for a victory march. One of them is what Slothful is doing right here, and parking units beside an HQ. That's not necessarily a bad idea. You want to have a gateway to the HQ so that you can get on there. Other thing you can do is plant a unit directly on the HQ. So by doing that, your opponent has to be able to use 2, maybe 3 units to clear, and then a unit to sit on the HQ. So by hovering around this HQ, very good idea. So let's see if it actually manages to work here. There's not really too much that Alexander is going to be able to do at this point. So we're going to pop the victory march. I think Alexander should probably consider moving the fighter onto the HQ, if anything. But we get the clear. What we have to do now is we have to figure out a way to clear this infantry, and I don't think it's possible. Yeah, no, we don't get the clear. So we are not going to be able to get the victory march this day, unfortunately. We do manage to cap a whole whackload of cities, though, sitting at 28 to 16, which is a pretty hefty number in itself. Parking the unit on the HQ, I absolutely like that. Like I said, that is definitely one of the things that you have to consider when you are going for HQ caps. Now, Alexander is definitely considering something himself here. He's got units in position. Potentially, he could actually yeet enough units to get a victory march of his own. But whether or not it's going to be possible is another question. I think the one thing that Slothful would have to watch out for in this scenario is just making sure that he doesn't do too much damage. Because if he does do too much damage, he would actually make it possible for Alexander to get the victory march. Like, that could be possible. So, let's see. Day 17, how much charge do we have? We need to get like 30k. I don't think it's possible, but we could potentially, like just absolutely yeet everything and just see what happens. So this is like 6k. This is a little bit. 6k, that would be 10k. How much do we need? 30? Fighter on fighter. No, unfortunately, we just don't have enough. We don't have enough units to actually get the victory march. Now, if Slothful had sent some tanks up here, maybe a double yeet with these two guys might be possible, but unfortunately for Alexander, he's not going to be able to get that clear there. So, this is what it is. Slothful one, beautiful HQ cap, well played indeed. Couple little things that I saw like throughout the game, you know, I mentioned it, is what it is. Tends to happen, but you know what? Well played indeed, Alexander. If you do watch this one, definitely just check that unmoved unit tab, and I think that'll help out quite a bit, because you did have some really good plays early on. I like that you jumped over here. Just need to work on the captures a little bit, and I think you're going to be 100% peachy. All right, folks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one today. If you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.